Yo, what's going on tonight? I'm running free all over the court and you didn't give me the rock.
Man, what are you talking about?
I'm talking about making sure I get my touches, yo. Move the basketball, share with your teammates, make the extra pass so we can get the easy looks. Got it?
Boy, get out my face with that, man. I do what I do with the rock for the good of this team. And I don't need nobody second-guessing me. You ain't my coach, punk.
That's the kind of selfishness I'm talking about. Get over yourself, man.
You know, life's a funny thing.
Whatever you say, boss.
A couple of months ago, I never even heard of you. A few weeks ago, I was certain you were a one-and-done guy. You know, have your cup of coffee in the bigs, and then disappear, never to be heard from again.
And now?
Now, well, now I'm gonna tell you that I was wrong not to draft you, and I was silly to offer you only a 10-day contract, and you know, I was mistaken to think you were only here to have a cup of coffee.
So, you're saying what I think you're saying?
Yeah, I'm saying we're offering you a guaranteed contract for the rest of the season.
Heck yeah! Man, that's what I'm talking about right there. Thanks, you're not gonna regret this. I'm telling you, I'm gonna make this organization so proud.
Good. Listen, you got this opportunity because you've been working your tail off out there. You know, you keep doing what you're doing, and, you know, there's no limit to what you can achieve. You got it?
Yes, sir, I do.
Get out of here.
Thanks again.
Get out of here.
Coach wanted me to give you all a little breakdown on some of the key points of emphasis strategies we'll be using moving forward. As you know, the entire staff feels it's important to review the basics from time to time, giving everyone a better understanding of what coach is expecting when you're out on the floor. It's going to help the team win more games. Simple as that. Now let's get to it, gentlemen. Getting to the basket and playing physical on defense. So here we go. Now, there are times when coach is going to want us to really focus on getting to the basket. We have some talented players on this team who are capable of getting to the rim just about any time because of their ball handling, speed, and ability to finish inside. When we run into a team that has weak perimeter defenders or is not very good at defending the rim, coach is going to want us to go strong to the hoop whenever possible. Now, let's take a look at some game film showing how we can try and get to the rim for some easy baskets. Here we've got a nice dribble drive play. The ball handler takes his defender off the dribble and gets all the way to the basket for an easy bucket. When we go up against a team with poor on-ball defenders or a team that's not good at protecting the rim, we need to be able to take advantage. And on this next play, look how the ball handler sees a lane open up to the basket and quickly attacks before the defense can react. Easy score. If you've got a lane, attack. No hesitation. Keep these examples in mind when coach says he wants us to focus on getting to the basket. Okay, up next, playing physical. We got some very physical players who like to use their bodies against weaker, smaller teams. We should be looking to take advantage of those size and strength mismatches by wearing out our opponents over the course of the game. Now let's look at some film so you guys can see what playing physical on the defensive end looks like in action. Here we go. See the defender pressing up on the ball handler? He's not giving him any room to move. You need to be up tight on the ball. Make sure you put a body on them to slow them down. The more physical we play, the better our chances of winning become. On this next play, the defender is down low, bumping his man out of the paint and further from the basket. That's what we need to do when coach asks us to play physical. When they're on offense, we need to lean on them all the time and just keep wearing them down. Okay, that's going to do it for today. There's no excuse not to know what's expected of you when coach calls for either of these points of emphasis in a game. See you at practice.
You got it, coach.
It's time for the NBA, live on 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan with Steve Kerr and Clark Kellogg alongside. And our sideline reporter tonight is Doris Burke. For the Raptors.
Get up. You're going in.
Here we go.
And here in the first, about 3 minutes in, on the court for San Antonio. Leonard and Duncan are the pair at forward. In the backcourt, Parker and Ginobili. And it's Splitter in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. And let's take this chance to look at some of the perimeter players who aren't afraid to mix it up in the middle either. These are the top rebounding point guards in the league. Kyle Lowry third.
And it may not be the first thing you think about, but if you look at a lot of the all-time great point guards, rebounding was always a big part of their game.
Yeah, I think that's true, Steve. It's not a necessary attribute for a point guard, but the ability to rebound is something that took a few of the greats to another level entirely, and it helps your team, too.
Splitter misses. Raptors leading by 3. Lowry dishes to Valanciunas. Here's Silk. He's covered by Ginobili. Patterson hands it from downtown. Patterson's got 8 points.
They really can't allow him too many open looks like that. I mean, that's just inviting trouble.
Valanciunas, a young big man with some offensive promise. He can score on the left block. He's developing a nice touch from mid-range. Very intriguing player with that size and skill set.
The Spurs shooting their first shots of the night from the charity stripe.
And in general, this has been a very good foul shooting team, about 79% on the season.
One of the things they've done, guys, is taken pride in their free throw shooting this season, and rightfully so.
Catching up on the changes for Toronto. Hansbrough's checked in for Jonas Valanciunas. Johnson comes in for Patrick Patterson. And it's Vasquez in for DeMar DeRozan. So San Antonio going with an almost entirely new group here. Boris Diaz checked in for Duncan. Bellinelli comes in for Kawhi Leonard. Corey Joseph's checked in for Manu Ginobili. And it's Mills in for Tony Parker. Out to the wing. Diaw, the screen. There's the pick, and that's going to be a travel.
Here's a look at some stats for Grievous Vasquez. How last month turned out for him. He's putting up 5 points a game, 3 assists, and 2 rebounds. Looking at those numbers, you'd probably say, yeah, that's about what we'd expect out of him.
Which isn't really what any player wants to hear. I mean, you don't want to under-promise and over-deliver. You want to exceed expectations, and maybe we'll start to see him do that shortly.
Ross is checked in for Kyle Lowry. Here's Vasquez. And the Raptors miss again.
Boy, I'm shocked he didn't make that one. He usually knocks that one down with ease.
Here is Bonner. Joseph with the ball. Kicks it to Mills. And he takes it in for the layup off a very nice feed. Mills has got his first 2 points.
Well, he wasn't fazed at all by the bigger man on him. And on the low block, I thought he might be.
You know, Steve, I thought maybe he'd prefer to bring him out to the perimeter, but whatever works, go to it.
Pass to Ross. Fires from deep. And good on the basket. Book it. Ross has got himself on the board with 3 there.
Oh, he's going to keep banging those home if you give him that much space.
Here's Mills, guarded by Vasquez. And Bellinelli kicks to Mills. Nice ball movement by San Antonio. Just 5 to shoot. The Spurs need to get a shot off here. That's good.
Defenders have to be aware. They cannot allow him that position before he catches the ball.
You're exactly right, Steve. That is his domain.
Ross passes to Vasquez. Johnson the screen. Terrific design on the pick play, and he lays it in. Silk's got his second basket.
Defense just has to fight over the top of those screens.
Especially when the ball is in his hands. I mean, he doesn't miss too many open shots.
Boy, this game is off to a terrific start.
No doubt. On both sides, high-octane offense.
With some changes, Patterson, he's checked in for Johnson. Silk comes in for Williams, and it's Kyle Lowry in for Vasquez. Then for the Spurs, Splitter's checked in for Diao. Duncan comes in for Matt Bonner, and it's Ginobili in for Bellinelli. On the floor for San Antonio, in the backcourt, Parker and Ginobili. Leonard and Duncan are the pair at forward, and it's Splitter in at the 5, home in the paint. Here's Stallworth. It's hauled in by Duncan. Duncan's got 4 rebounds now tonight.
This game has been very close in a lot of areas, but rebounding is one thing that they've been able to dominate.
Yeah, they've chased down that pumpkin often.
Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here.
Kawhi Leonard has been talked about and mentioned as the future of this San Antonio Spurs team. 23 years old is all he is, and already a great defender and a much improved shooter from his days at San Diego State.
The Raptors making a switch here. Hansbrough's checked in, and San Antonio also making a switch. Mills is checked in. 1:58 left in the first half. Lowry dishes to Hansbrough. Here's Stallworth, and he was fouled in the act of shooting. Chance here now for a 3-point play.
You know, that putback's about as easy as it's going to get. You have to put a body on someone down there.
Well, no box out. That's the result you get right there.
Terrence Ross is checked in for DeMar DeRozan. Spurs also with the sub. Joseph, he's checked in for Kawhi Leonard. That's good from Silk. And for Kawhi Leonard, we know about his defense, but you think Stevie can become a go-to offensive player?
Well, he's going to need to, Kevin, when Parker, Ginobili, and Duncan move on. This is going to be Kawhi Leonard's team. And I thought what was interesting was the Spurs gave him more of a burden last year offensively. They started to give him more and more looks isolation-wise down on the block. And he's developed at a beautiful rate. He's coming into his own.
And Lowry gets it to go.
That's a clean look they gave him there, fellas, and he drains those.
And Doris Burke has a report for us from the sideline.
Well, guys, Coach Greg Popovich, the reigning coach of the year, a big part of his approach is empowering players. He says, quote, it's a players' game, and they've got to take charge. Rather than try to manipulate them, he said, it's a great feeling when players get together and do things as a group. Kevin?
Thanks, Doris.
You know, giving his players room to lead and allowing them to take ownership, I mean, I think that's part of the genius of Popovich.
There's the feed to Ross. Off target with his 3. Clock management. This is where, Steve, they can get a 2-for-1.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. As long as the first one's a good one, and now you play D, you get the ball back, one more shot.
That puts them in the lead. 10 points for Duncan.
He's been one of their more reliable options today, guys. I mean, his shooting has led them to this lead.
24 seconds left in the first half of basketball. There's the pick, and it's Lowry penetrating. Passes to Silk. And the shot is long. Mills with it, averaging 10 points per contest. Now Ginobili, and he converts the layup. Ginobili's got his second bucket of the night.
I don't know who was supposed to be on him there, but clearly a mistake by the defense.
Lowry has the open look, and no good trying to get that one. And a tight game here.
Coach, what are the key...
Okay, guys, we got a few minutes here. Let's go over a few things before we get going again.
We have a close ball game on our hands as we get set for the second half of basketball. And the Raptors with some changes. Johnson, he's checked in for Patterson. And it's Vasquez in for Kyle Lowry. San Antonio also making some changes. Bonner, he's checked in for Splitter. Diao comes in for Tim Duncan. And it's Bellinelli in for Manu Ginobili. Amir Johnson at the 4 with Valanciunas at the pivot. Williams is out there with Vasquez. And it's DeRozan in at the 3. That's the 5 out there for the Raptors.
Boy, nice tip in to salvage the points from the missed shot.
Points, Clark, they do add up.
Yes, sir.
They sure do. That's why boxing out is so important. Defensively, you can't just let a guy get to the rim and not put a body on him.
Silk's checked in for Toronto. Leonard attacking, and he goes up strong with one hand and flushes it down.
Well, I tell you what, it was the good pick that was set that turned him loose.
And once he got around it, Steve, it was smooth sailing right to the hole.
Well, because of the pick, he had plenty of room. That's why he was able to power down that slam.
DeRozan passes to Silk. Floats one. The second chance effort, and it's good on the way in. Valanciunas has got 7 points for the quarter.
You know, we really haven't seen the same focus defensively that we did in the first half.
You know, the Spurs, because of their way of conducting business and their low-key personality, have never really been ratings darlings for the NBA, despite being considered and respected as a model franchise in the league. The team's color of silver and black, I think, fits their style. It's not really flashy or gaudy, but it does point out their business-like approach and how precise they play and how much they win.
And you look at the Spurs' lack of branding. It starts from the top down, from Coach Popovich to Tim Duncan. They don't court media attention. They're close to the vest, all business, all about winning.
Tyler Hansbrough's checked in for the Raptors. San Antonio also making some changes. Tim Duncan, he's checked in for Bonner. Corey Joseph comes in for Kawhi Leonard. And it's Mills in for Parker. DeRozan with it. Picked up by Joseph. They set the screen. It's tipped off his foot, and it's whistled a kick. And the Spurs look for a certain kind of player, Clark.
Let's go. You're in.
Dang, about time.
For Amir Johnson. Lou Williams is checked in for Terrence Ross, and it's Kyle Lowry in for Vasquez. San Antonio also making some changes. Manu Ginobili, he's checked in for Corey Joseph, and Parker subbed in for Patty Mills. On the court right now for the Spurs, Diaw and Duncan at the 4 and the 5. In the backcourt, Parker and Ginobili, and it's Bellinelli in at the 3 slot. And here's Lowry. Clark, they can burn some clock if they want to.
Yeah, and maybe buy a little oxygen while they're doing it.
Here's Valanciunas, and yes, sir, that one drops. Valanciunas has got 6 in the quarter.
This is a fantastic performance in this half. He didn't play as well in the first, but you just know with this guy, he's always ready to turn it around.
Here's Duncan. Shot is no good, so the Raptors will take it the other way. Outside Williams. Here's Silk. He's covered by Leonard. The shot's good from Silk.
Now, halftime was exactly what they needed, as they have shot the ball much better coming out of the break.
Yeah, they have looked a lot better this half. I don't know what it was. Perhaps they changed the rims, unbeknownst to us, but something changed.
Here's Duncan. He hits it from 9.
Well, for one, he hasn't let them down. But a few other guys need to pick up the pace if they're going to be good.
Raptors leading by 14. Now here's Williams. To the inside. And Valanciunas kicks to Williams. Toronto working the ball around now. Clock at 6. They set the pick. No good from Silk.
He's far too tentative in the paint, and even more so when the defender is up tight on him like that time. Well, clearly we will not be witnessing a spirited comeback tonight, albeit as exciting as that would be. And I think this was an excellent all-around performance for Toronto.
Tonight they seem committed to the three-point shot.
That certainly was their main meal, their bread and butter, if you will.
And so taking a look at their season record, this will be win number 31 on the year.
And it always feels good to get that first win in the season series. Going head-to-head twice this year, this will put them up 1-0 so far against the Spurs.
Catching up on the changes for Toronto. Chuck Hayes, he's checked in for Jonas Valanciunas. Hansbrough's coming for Patrick Patterson. And Terrence Ross is subbed in for Kyle Lowry. We've got a 9-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Here's Mills. Feeds to Duncan. He kicks it to Mills. Takes a 3, and that one's good.
For 3.
The Raptors have gotten exactly 2/3 of their shots to find the bottom of the net here in the fourth, 8 of 12. There's a screen. Here's Williams. And the rebound goes to Duncan.
Looked like an easy 2 points right there.
You know he's kicking himself for that miss.
Well, you knew he'd win that race.
Definitely. I mean, that's what you call early offense.
And so it's Toronto winning this one.